This is a running shoe brand you've never heard of. Lighter than Hoka, more durable than Ultra, and built for 100 miles. A month ago at Western States, the most competitive 100-miler in America, 369 runners lined up. 41 of them were wearing this shoe, the Mount to Coast R1. And here's the crazy part. This shoe launched only a year ago. So how does a newcomer break into a race dominated by Nike, Hoka, and Salomon? Mount to Coast is a new brand from Hong Kong, built by ex-Nike and book designers. This shoe is designed to go far, really far. A 35mm stack, 8mm drop, a white toe box, and features you don't find in traditional running shoes. It's a smart move and a playbook that's been used by many other brands in super competitive markets before. Tesla did the same thing. They didn't start with a family hatchback. They launched the Roadster, a high-performance, high-price niche appeal. It grabbed attention, brought in investment, and gave them a base to take on the rest of the market. Mount to Coast might be playing the same game. Start with ultrarunners, the hardcore crowd, solve their very specific problems, win their trust, build credibility, and only then expand. So what makes an ultra running shoe different from the road shoes that we all know? And can this new running shoe brand really stand against the giants like Salomon, Nike, and Hoka? Let's find out. So this is the Mount to Coast R1. I first saw it at the eSpoke show in Munich, the biggest sports trade show in the world. And this shoe, still a prototype back then, won the global award. The jury praised it for injury prevention and sustainability. The upper is 100% recycled PET yarn. The midsole foamed with pure nitrogen. This is a super new and innovative brand. And last year in 2024, they finally launched in the US. Let's open them up. All right, the branding is clear. So this is definitely aimed for the ultra runner. Okay, so remember how Apple always slipped some stickers into their boxes? Mount to Coast gives you a poster. That's a nice touch. Let's frame it up.
A few moments later.
All right, this is cool. I like this. This is pretty sick. On top of that, you get this shoe bag. Seems premium with the logo in the middle. Always nice to have. And lastly, this tech card with all their proprietary technology listed on it. And finally, we've got the shoes. All right, so first impression, obviously they're very, very bright white, which I'm not used to in my running shoes. I think that's kind of the branding they're going for. They want you to see the miles that you're running in them as they're getting dirtier. It's a very clean design, quite minimalistic compared to my usual ultra road running shoes, the Ultra V Olympus. This seems almost futuristic. It's just a very, very different design language that they're going with, which I quite like. Straight ahead, I can see that the lacing system is quite special and not much else to say, just clean, minimal design for this shoe. So this shoe weighs in at 240 grams for a European size 43. And if you compare that to other shoes in the same category, ultra road running races, then these shoes are amongst the lightest, which is already a good start. Now let's look at the 4 proprietary tech features inside the shoe that won them all these prizes. Now actually you can see those features written throughout the shoe. You have the GOFLOW on the bottom, the LightCELL on the midsole, the TunedFit here on the lacing system, and the ZeroSag on the inside here. So first up, let's look at the lacing system. One lace for the forefoot and another for the midfoot and ankle. Now, why would you do that? Because when you run ultras, your feet swell. That's something super common, and the longer the distance, the worse it gets. Usually it starts at like kilometer 50, hours of pounding coupled with micro damage in your tissues that leads to inflammation. And it's gravity that pulls the liquid down into your feet. Another factor to swollen feet is poor hydration. If your sodium balance is off in your bloodstream, it will worsen the effect. Now, being able to loosen up the front side of the shoe and keeping your ankle locked in on the top here, that's gold for long distance. And having done a few ultramarathons myself, I know that that's definitely a feature that I would have used during my races. The 3 remaining proprietary features all find themselves in the midsole. The foam, they call it LightCELL. They claim it to be 50% lighter than the traditional EVA foam we find in most other running shoes. But on top of that, they also claim it has 45% more energy return. Now that would be a game changer, not gonna lie. If you can cut down the weight and make it more responsive, that's pretty groundbreaking. So in the middle of the midsole, they have this insert called ZeroSag. It looks a bit like a carbon plate, but it's not. According to their website, they co-developed this with BASF, a suspension technology found in race cars. And last but not least, the GOFLOW geometry of the shoe. So GOFLOW is supposed to be an industry-leading midsole geometry designed to keep your feet tracking from heel to toe and enjoy your natural stride. Now to me, all of this sounds like a bit of marketing jargon, stuff you just see on websites on almost every running shoe brand. But it does sound very appealing and I can't wait to try them out and actually give you my verdict. But apart from all these innovative features, the thing that strikes me most about this shoe is the look and feel of it. They don't scream running shoe to me. You could wear them in a cafe or on a flight and no one would think twice. The logo really is tiny, almost hidden. That kind of restraint feels more like a premium design brand than a running shoe company. And then there's this white colorway. They get dirty fast, as you can see on the poster. But that's the point. You can see the miles, you can see the story of your runs written into the shoe. The material feels really premium the moment you hold it. And now it's time to lace them on and try them out. All right, so it took me a little over 2 weeks, but I finally logged in more than 200 kilometers in these shoes. And here's my verdict. So this is my honest opinion, my verdict on these shoes. I have never, ever ran in better shoes when it comes to long, slow distance. And I'm saying that I'm not affiliated with Mount to Coast in any way. They are not paying me for this. They don't see this review before I upload it. None of that. This is my honest take. To give you some context, I have been a long-term Ultra fan for many, many years. And the main reason I go with Ultra is because of their wide toe box. For me, that's a non-negotiable, and that's a deal breaker if I go with like a Hoka and it has a narrow toe box. I just don't like it. And so the fact that these shoes have a wide toe box for me already is a big plus. Now, let's talk about the midsole. Extremely lightweight, super comfy, super cruisy. Honestly, not many negatives to say. This dual lacing system also very, very handy if you want to adjust how tight your shoe is on the ankle, but you don't want to adjust how tight it is in the forefoot for your toes. That's so practical. And I can imagine running an ultra marathon, if you get some swelling, how useful this would be. Now, on top of that, I think that's the ZeroSag technology. It just felt like when I was running, I was rolling off my big toe and it gave me some responsiveness and this kind of cruisy, flowy feeling. Now, with all this praise, what are the negatives? What are the cons for the shoe? Now, first of all, I would say the price. This shoe is 170 euro in Europe. I think it's kind of outrageous how expensive running shoes have become. But in the context of its competitors and the other running shoes out there, this is actually quite reasonable. I mean, Satisfy is dropping a shoe for 260 right now. Then there is, Norda is also really expensive. New Normal is expensive. Speedland is also very expensive. So I almost want to say it's fair, knowing how much tech and research development they've put into the shoe, that it's priced at 170. But yeah, kind of breaks my heart that it's so expensive. Then another con is that it's kind of only for road exclusively. They really don't have a lot of grip, and I tried it on some technical trails, and yeah, it wasn't good. So most ultra marathons are a mix between trail and road running. So if you're able to switch shoes and use these for road sections and then switch to a trail shoe for trail sections, that's perfect. But if you're running an entire ultra trail in these, then I'm not sure that I would go with this model. I think I would take a trail shoe, which they just dropped actually. They just dropped the T1, which is the newest lineup for Mount to Coast. It's the trail version of the shoe, also has a lot of hype, and I can't wait to try it out. Subscribe if you want to see that review. All right, that's been it. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay wild and peace.